So welcome to this event. It's called Versatile Thinking, Mastering the Mental Swiss Army Knife with AI-powered mind map. Just a show of hands, if you're all familiar with the mind map, or if you are a user or a practitioner of mind mapping. Give me a thumbs up if you are. Okay, that's cool. I get several thumbs ups. Right. So, and give me another thumbs up if you have been using an AI-powered mind map or an app. Do you use an app to do your mind mapping, or are you like me who still, so actually combine, I have like paper-based mind maps. I usually have a pad with me with outlines, and I've been using it since I became a mind mapper, back in 2013. So it's been 12 years already. Okay, so and of course, I'm sure you are familiar with the Swiss Army knife. So there's a picture here. It's something that you would pull out when you need to do anything, like if you need to be a handyman. There's something that looks like a pliers, there's a pair of scissors, there's something to use for your nails, there's even a bottle opener, and there's a small knife here, something like a cutter or a saw or something like that. So it's actually a versatile tool, and a lot of people use this when they climb mountains, because it can help them with looking for tools for them to survive in mountain climbing. So anything that we do in life, we need to have tools, we need to have something that we need to use to assist us. So let me just do a quick check. There are 3 quick checks. So you may answer agree, disagree, or not sure. Please use the chat box for your answers. Okay, so there are 3 questions here. Question number 1, not a question, a statement. So first statement, there is only one method or mode of thinking. Do you agree, or do you disagree, or you're not sure? Then the next statement is, in the age of AI or artificial intelligence, who needs to think? So do you agree with that statement? Do you disagree, or you're not sure? And the third statement is, versatile thinking is the key to human flourishing. So that may sound ambitious, like just by thinking your life will flourish. Is that it? So do you agree with that statement? So you can have your answers. Okay, so I get a comment from Praveen. He says, I thought everything was fine, but AI seems to think better than I do. For example, when I have a problem, I used to ask my friend for advice. Now I go straight to ChatGPT instead. I think this is hurting our friendship. What should I do, and how to think better? Okay, that's interesting. AI seems to give you a better answer than your friend, and therefore it can destroy relationships, because you will start having a relationship with your ChatGPT or Copilot or Galileo, because there's a lot, right? Whatever it is you're using. If you're using a China-based AI, then that's DeepSeek. So you may think that these are more reliable than any advice from your friend. So what should you do? Well, first of all, you need to understand that using an AI is high tech, but high touch is still very important. ChatGPT can give you the best advice, but it will not rub your back. It will not give you a hug. It will not even hold your hand. So that's what you need a friend for. A friend may not give you a really sound advice, but a friend is there for you to hold your hand, to give you a hug when you need some comforting. So you still really need the high touch. So I got some answers from Jerin and James. They're saying number 1, disagree. Number 2, for Jerin, he disagrees with number 1. Number 2, everyone. Number 3, agree. Okay, number 1 for James, disagree. Number 2, all. Who needs to think? All or everyone, right? And number 3, agree. Okay. So let's revisit this one later on after we've done a full discussion. We have about 30 minutes for this event, and I will take you through around 10 slides, okay? So when we say Swiss Army knife for the brain, which was coined by Tony Buzan, who's actually the inventor of MindMap, we're actually referring to the mind map. So the mind map is the Swiss Army knife for the brain. So why? Because when you need to think about something, you need your brain. But then you need to map your ideas, whatever it is that you're thinking, your thoughts, anything into the mind map. So it can either be a paper, you have like color pens, and a clean paper, like, it has to be an unlined paper. I always use this. I don't run out of this. So I always have this pad. So you see, it's a notebook without lines. And it's the best thing that you can use for mind mapping because it's a clean slate and it does not have the lines that would distract you from creating your mind maps. And I have a lot. These days I'm quite lazy. I don't really follow using all the color pens. But whenever I get my mind into it, like for now, I am actually I'm conceptualizing a business. So it's called, what do I call this business? It's about selling artificial flowers, but with rhymes. So this is how I plan. This is my business plan. It's just 1 page, and it's got a lot of branches because I'm creating a whole mind map for this kind of business. And later I can actually translate it into an AI-powered mind map on MindMap AI. So this is Tony Buzan. He invented the mind map. He was born on 2nd of June 1942 and passed away on the 13th of April 2019. I had the very unique privilege and humbling experience to be one of his clones because I took up my mind mapping instructor's certification program. Under him, we were one of we were actually the first batch that he handled. So I flew all the way to Netherlands, and in one of those days, it was a 5-day program. One of those days, the day before our graduation, I had the opportunity to have a 5-hour mentoring with him because I was the only one from Asia. The rest of my classmates were from Russia, from Netherlands, of course, from Belgium, from Brussels. I had a classmate who works at the European Union. And then all the rest they all come from Europe. So I was the only one from Asia. And that's why he took a fancy on me. Like, he was very interested to meet me separate from the meeting with the group, because he told me that there is actually a course I could have attended in Thailand, but he was surprised and amused that I had to fly all the way to Netherlands. Yes, at that time I had a really hefty bonus from doing a really good job at a bank that I was working for here. So I was able to afford that trip. So this was, when was this? 14th of August, 2013. So now it's August 2025, 12 years ago. It's a restaurant called Brasserie Van Spek in Amsterdam. And this was what I got during graduation, my certificate. So let's talk about the versatility of the human brain, which is being expressed through a mind map. So that's how these things are related or interrelated. How versatile is your brain, or is the human brain? How versatile is it? Let me show you this. This is the anatomy of the brain. You probably all studied this in science, in basic science, or if you read neuroscience, you can actually encounter this one, the basic ones. So basic parts of the brain, you have 4 different lobes: frontal, parietal, occipital, cerebellum, and then you have the brainstem, and then the temporal lobe, right? So this one is called the linear representation of the parts of the brain. But how versatile is the brain? It has a lot of uses, and the uses of the brain is actually better captured when you are using this mind map. So I pulled this out from MindMap AI. You see, you have all the lobes here, but here it's only it's being represented by just one portion or one branch with 4 sub branches. So here you can see that the 4 lobes, frontal, parietal, temporal, and occipital, is actually part of the cerebrum. But here you don't see the cerebrum. And then here there's a brainstem. Here also there's a brainstem. So this is giving you a better representation of the parts of the brain. Later I will show you how this is being done. All right. So suffice it to say that the human brain has a lot of uses. You use it for a physical thing like motor control, but you also need it for planning, decision making, language production, language comprehension. This happens in different parts of the brain. When you produce a language, like what I'm doing now, I'm producing a language in English, then my Broca's area is activated. But for you to understand what I'm saying, your Wernicke's area is activated. So that's how it works. But all human beings have the very same anatomy, of the very same brain anatomy. Everything is the same. It's only Einstein that I know for a fact, because I've done a research about his life. It's only Einstein who's quite different, because Einstein has an extra parietal lobe. He's got an extra part of the brain. So he's very unique. And how they discovered that he's got an extra parietal lobe is because they sliced his brain into 240 pieces after he died. And then they subjected all these 240 parts of his brain into really nitty-gritty scrutiny in the lab. And that's how they found out that the reason why he's special is because he's got an extra part. Okay, so when it comes to versatility of the brain, it's actually being expressed by give me a second, let me just remove this portion. Okay, I should have deleted that earlier. Never mind. Okay, so modes of thinking. Now, these modes of thinking give you an idea that the brain is versatile. And therefore, because the brain is naturally versatile, it's capable of thinking in different ways. Therefore, you as a person, as a human being, should also be capable of thinking in different ways. This is how it's being represented. Okay. Let me delete all this. So this is how it's being represented. Now you'll see here, there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 modes of thinking. So I will not take it. I will not take it up with you one by one for lack of material time. But suffice it to say that when you are caught up in a situation, it's like there is something that you can actually pull out, like a Swiss Army knife, that should assist you in solving that problem or in navigating whatever difficult situation you are in, or even in maybe you need to come up with cool ideas how you can solve your problem. Do you think that ChatGPT can produce a better answer to your problem, or can your brain produce a better answer to your problem? Well, you'll never know unless you try it. So there are 11 modes of thinking, and so the 11th one is what we will be discussing today. This is the focus of our discussion. Versatile thinking. But it says here it can only be used in project management, in consulting, in leadership. Well, the reason why MindMap AI is generating this kind of answer is because it is subjective for me. It applies to me because the machine co-pilot that is powering MindMap AI has actually learned things about me because I've been using it for about, I think, 2 weeks already. So remember that 3 little words LLM, large language model. So the chat GPT that you are using and the chat GPT that I am using would actually produce different answers because it depends on how you are using it. So for me, I use a lot of it for work purposes because currently I have a project with a water company in the state of Johor, which is a border between Malaysia and Singapore. And therefore, chat GPT no, I don't use ChatGPT anymore because I have Copilot that's powered by Microsoft. Then so I use Copilot and I use MindMap AI for my work. So it's familiar with the way I work and with the way I think, and therefore it's telling me that I can use versatile thinking for project management, consulting, and leadership, which is my work, my line of work. So all the others, these are the other modes of thinking that you can actually use. Okay, once the recording of this session is available, you can probably have a look at this again. Alternatively, you can contact me on LinkedIn and I can give you a copy of this image. So the question is, do these 11 modes of thinking actually cover everything, all sorts of thinking that a person or a human being can possibly have? No, it does not, because there are other modes like intuitive, when you can practice your intuition. Instinctive, when you can practice your instinct. Like, why are you able to walk without having to look at where you're walking on because you are on your phone? You're climbing up the staircase or you're going down the staircase, but you are on your phone and yet your feet is able to take you to where you need to be. Why are you able to do that? It's because of instinct. It's already instinctive that your 2 feet must walk, must move forward, 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 or maybe backwards, and yet your eyes are on your phone. So isn't that amazing? Well, how are you able to do that? It's because your brain is doing that for you. Introspective is when you need to reflect on something. So you have a problem. Okay, how do you reflect on that? What's the root cause of that problem? Is it personal or is it professional? Is it work related? Is it something that is a life and death situation or something like that? So it requires introspection. Associative is when you're connecting the dots. So I do a lot of that in my line of work because I do different things. So I have to do associative thinking. And more importantly, pattern recognition is another mode of thinking. Pattern recognition is actually what makes a wife know that her husband is cheating because she can discover patterns, right? So how versatile is the brain? Of course, now you know that it's extremely versatile. So versatile thinking is actually the ability to adopt one's thought processes. So take note of whatever I highlighted. These are the keywords. So ability to adapt one's thought processes and approaches in response to various situations by switching between different cognitive strategies or perspectives. So what are the keywords that you need to really remember? It's adapt, adaptation. So being flexible. So you adapt your thought processes or your way of thinking. And then you're encountering various situations. So different mode of thinking applies to different situations. That's why you need to be able to switch between different ways of thinking and, more importantly, perspective. So what is perspective? The way you look at things, your worldview, the way you view situations. Should you always just view situation as a matter of life and death, and which means you would keep on panicking? Or can you relax a little bit, chill a little bit, give it some thought? Is it for example, today you don't have money, you have zero in your bank account, and you don't have anything in your wallet, but then you need to go someplace, somewhere, so you need to have money. So is money in your wallet the only way for you to go somewhere? Or can you probably call a friend and ask the friend, hey, I really need to get to this place. You know that your friend has a car. Can you just do me a quick favor? Can you send me there? Right? So you can actually begin to discover that that one problem has many solutions. There's many ways to kill a cat. So this was what Charles Darwin actually emphasized, that you either adapt or you perish. If you don't know how to adapt, you perish. So it is not the strongest of the species that survives. It is not the most intelligent either, but it is the one who is the most adaptable to change. Adapt or perish. So quickly about the history of human evolution, right? So according to Darwin, we were once like monkeys, and then slowly monkeys walking on fours, and then slowly we became bipedal. That means we're using 2 feet. And then eventually we straightened up our bodies, and then we became like this. But now with AI, right, with artificial intelligence, the question in your mind is, how are you able to adapt using this AI? Is AI a tool for you, or will you become the tool for AI? So that's a question for you to answer, for you to have to think about. Okay, so when it comes to versatile thinking, what I've discovered, because I've been using it, what I've discovered is that there are actually 8 wonders. The 8 wonders of versatile thinking. So namely, ideation, memory recall, convergent and divergent thinking styles, systems thinking, which is the ability to see the big picture, thinking fast or slow, so quick thinking or deliberative thinking or slow thinking, and then problem solving, curiosity, and imagination. So all this, then you'll ask me, hey, Lyra, are you sure I can use MindMap to develop all these skills or competencies? Yes, for sure, because I've done it. Okay, so okay, just one. I'll use both imagination and ideation. Ideation is about coming up with new ideas. So I'll give you an example. When I wrote my first book, because I have a second one already. These are digital books, ebooks. I don't have the money to publish it in print, but it's digital. So the first book that I did was during COVID, because I wanted to be productive. So I came up with a book, and I didn't have any idea what it is that I wanted to write. So because I cook, so I am often in the kitchen, and then the first thing that I have to do in the kitchen is to open the tap, the water, have water, wash dishes. Then I thought about water, so I imagined, what is it about water that I should be writing? And because I am a mind mapper, how do I connect mind and water? Then I came up with a book entitled The Mind of Water. So I had to use my imagination, and then I used ideation, and then I became very curious about water. So I did a lot of research about water, and I discovered that when you actually have your phone with you, right? So you have your phone with you, and you put a glass of water next to your phone, you are destroying the molecules of that glass of water. And therefore, when you drink that water, it's already unhealthy. And that is causing a lot of health issues that people are not really aware about. That very simple thing of avoiding to place your water next to your gadget, your phone or your laptop or your computer, actually save you a lot of money, because you don't have to often see the doctor, because you'll avoid a lot of health problems, right? So I've used this, and that's why I call them the 8 wonders of versatile thinking, which can be translated into a mind map. And when you have a mind map, you can actually see it. So convergent thinking and divergent thinking, for example. Convergent is when you are having a single solution. So a single solution to a problem is versatile thinking. And all these 8 wonders would actually converge into one. So they're converging. converge into one. So that's how you converge, right? So everything will go into this one whole idea. Okay, divergent thinking is the opposite. Based on the versatile thinking principle, you can diverge into different things. You can use imagination, you can tap into your curiosity, you can solve problems, you can see the big picture. How is it seeing a big picture using the mind map? Well, when you see the entirety of this whole mind map, this entire page, you're actually looking at the entire big picture. So this is the big picture of versatile thinking. It has 8 branches, and each wonder of versatile thinking would actually direct you to certain actions, like generating new ideas for ideation. You can brainstorm, or you can develop certain concepts. Okay. So this was the book that I wrote. It's actually 3 in 1. It's called a trilogy. And according to the Tony Buzan Group, because I participated in the book awards in 2021, according to the Tony Buzan Group, it's a novelistic interpretation of Tony Buzan's theories, and with some new interpretations and dramatic twists. And I was very lucky to win that award. So I represented my country, the Philippines, because I was in the Philippines when I started writing the book. And then 3 months into writing this book, my son and I moved back to Malaysia. So this was very memorable for me because the award was given on the birth anniversary of Tony Buzan. So he passed away in 2019. Then 2 years later, I won this award. So I actually connected the concepts of mind, water, memory, and the female brain. So that's when I used a lot of versatile thinking and a lot of dot connection. So I had to connect the dots. If you are working in a bank, or you're working for the government, or probably for the water utilities company where I'm doing a project for currently, you would actually be using a lot of versatile thinking. So versatile thinking in public services. In banking, where do you actually need it? It's in risk management, of course, financial innovation, like coming up with new products, solving customer issues, which is quite a lot. And recently, not just recent, not too long ago, banks have started to discover that there's a lot of scammers that victimize their clients. So it's about fraud prevention, which is the most important. In Singapore, for example, there's a bank teller. So she's just like, bank teller. She had a client who came over, and the client was acting funny, like panicking, appeared scared, and the client wanted to withdraw 70,000 Singapore dollars. So immediately that lady thought something is not right here. So what was she doing? She actually activated her pattern recognition, which is part of versatile thinking. And she sort of had an idea that the client was in trouble. So she asked, why are you withdrawing this much of money? And she later discovered that the client was actually being victimized by a scammer, and she prevented that from happening. So when you use this in public service or in customer service, you can actually help your client or whichever customer you're serving avoid being scammed. What about in government? Oh, there's plenty of versatile thinking that government institutions can make use of. For example, in developing policies, what kind of policies would actually help citizens? Would we just put together legislations or laws that are not really beneficial for citizens? Or do we put together laws that would help our people or help the citizen have a better life? So that requires a lot of versatile thinking. What about crisis management? So in a lot of countries in Asia, for example, floods often happen. Disasters often happen. For example, tsunami, you have earthquakes, all these things. that's crisis, how should a government address that crisis? Do they only address flooding once the flood is already there, or is there a way to actually be more proactive by addressing this crisis before they even happen? That requires versatile thinking. So get a mind map, get a clean sheet of paper or go on MindMap AI, brainstorm about proactive ways to address common disasters like flooding. So you can do that. In water utilities, so this company that I am working on, we have a project on leadership profiling, and they have what they call the thinking and innovation department. So that's actually the department with 7 people that thinks for all the other departments. So they have operational issues, they have leak detection issues, they need to address customer issues, water distraction, and all these things. So there is this company composed of 7 people who is like the brain for the entire company. They think, they brainstorm, they come up with new ideas, they come up with new technologies, they go to events and discover that there are actually new technologies that they can use to serve the state better when it comes to water delivery services. So that requires a lot of versatile thinking. So these are just a few examples where versatile thinking can be very useful. Okay, so I hope I was able to tickle your curiosity, and you might now want to have a look at where I got those mind maps that I showed you earlier. So I got that from MindMap AI app. It's an app. So give me a second to shift to that, and I can demonstrate to you how it works. Okay, so this is MindMap AI. If you want to subscribe to this, give Sobia a call. So Sobia is the one who invited me to speak at this event, and she's the business development manager. So the website is mindmapai.app. Okay, so everyone can actually access this website. So when you go to Canvas, this is how it looks like. If you're a Copilot user or a ChatGPT user, it works similarly, except that this one will produce to you a mind map. Okay. Let's try to put this into very good use. For example, I want it to create a mind map on the best skills that a teacher should have in the 21st century. So this is for my students. So I actually provide lectures to English major teachers in the Philippines who are preparing for their board examination. Okay, so let's see this one. Create a mind map on the best skills that a teacher should have in the 21st century. And voila, in less than 1 minute. So it's really like ChatGPT, right? Instantly, it gives you all the skills that you need. So technological proficiency, adaptive and reflective practice, pedagogical skills. Bloom's taxonomy is quite old, but yes, it can still be useful. And then interpersonal, and communication skills. So can you take, what do? Do you take a screenshot of this if you want to save it? No, actually you don't need to. You click here and then you can download it. You can use options. You can choose options how you want to download it. Do you want it as PDF or do you want it as PNG and all these things? So you can download it, or you can even share it. You want to share this image, so you can choose share image, and then you can choose who do you want to share it with. Okay, so of course it depends on how fast your internet connection can work. But yes, it will give you this one. So I want to save this. So now it's being saved. Essential skills for 21st century teachers. Okay. Let's try another one. Praveen was asking earlier, how do I improve? Okay, no, another question. How do I, sorry, what should I do? So create a mind map of solutions that I can use or I can practice so that I will not be dependent on Chat GPT. Okay, let's see what MindMap AI will produce. Okay, so you're being told to develop foundational skills. So these are the skills: do some research, writing, critical thinking. Utilize alternative tools because you don't want to be dependent on ChatGPT, right? Practice and application. So what do you practice? Start small, apply new skills, challenge yourself with more difficult tasks. Yes, because it's like, your brain muscles need exercise. So solve other people's problems. Try that without using ChatGPT. Specific task, what specific task do I use ChatGPT for? And can you avoid it? So that's identifying your knowledge gaps. Okay, so MindMap AI can actually give you solutions that ChatGPT will not give. Isn't that wonderful? Right? Okay, so this is how it works. So again, if you want to try that for yourself, get in touch with Sophia and she will take you through it. Okay, so I think I have about 2 minutes to complete my presentation. And let's go back. I told you that we will revisit this one. Do you agree or disagree there is only one method or mode of thinking? And you said you disagree, and you are right, because there is so many modes of thinking. It's just that you probably have not discovered them, or you probably are not aware that there are other ways to think about things. In the age of AI, who needs to think? Do you really need to think? Of course, all the more that we need to think, otherwise AI will replace us. And it's going to happen. It's just around the corner. People who refuse to put their mind into good use, put their brain into practice, practice weightlifting for the mind. It's like, weightlifting, you have dumbbells or barbells will exercise your muscles. You'll grow like really good biceps. So it's the same thing with the brain. If you exercise your brain, you mind map, whether on paper or better with MindMap AI, because in just a jiffy, it will produce the mind map that you want. All the more you need to think, because then how can you prompt the AI if you don't think? So you need to think to be able to come up with better prompts, because Gigo is real. What is Gigo? Anyone knows what is Gigo? Gigo is real. So Gigo, garbage in, garbage out. If you put garbage into the AI that you're using, it will give you garbage back. Right? It will give you back the garbage that you're giving it. So if you exercise it, if you work with with this kind of machine or this kind of tool, and you give it, a lot of ideas that are coming from your brain because you want to brainstorm with it, for example, or you want it to help you enhance whatever ideas that you have, then all the more you need to think. You need to use your brain. And the best way to use your brain, so you can see the representation of what's happening with your thoughts, with your thought processes, is actually to create mind maps. And the third statement, versatile thinking is the key to human flourishing. Like I said, sounds a bit ambitious, but yes, it is true. You will flourish. To flourish means to improve. You can have a better life when you think better. And I am witness to that. I can really I can really attest to that. I come from a very, very poor family. While I was growing up, my house was like, it's like in the Philippines we call it bahay kubo. It's a very small hut. It's a hut, and every time it rains or every time there's a strong wind, I could see that the roof would open up there, and then I could see the clouds because that was how fragile that house was. And there were like 18 adults. I grew up with practically adults. So my parents, their brothers, my mom's brothers and sister, my grandparents, a lot of people in the very small house. So if I look back at how I actually come to where I am now, it's because I was educated. My mom made sure, even with her little income, my mom made sure that she sends me to a really good school. And then after that, so I went on private school education, but I was on scholarship because I was given the opportunity to be taught how to use my brain. So if you're from a rich family, well, it's like the world is already there made for you. But if you're like me and you come from very humble beginnings, your only capital is actually right there between your shoulders. It's here. That's the best capital that you can have, and your life will definitely flourish. Okay, so that's it. I'll be happier if you can ask me questions so we can put them to the test, see whether we can discover new answers. Why does having multiple modes of thinking make us more versatile as problem solvers? Okay, that's a good question from Pravin. Could you share a sample of how to use MindMap or AI or Copilot chat for your work, how to make decisions with them? Okay, then we have to go back to MindMap AI. Let me tackle the first one. Why does having different modes of thinking? Different modes of thinking would actually produce different kinds of solutions to problems. Okay, so if I use one mode of thinking, creativity, because I want to solve my current condition. So if, for example, your current condition is you want to change jobs, okay? You want to change jobs, and what's being published out there in the job market or in job portals are jobs that you cannot do, because what is it that people are looking for? For example, if you're in my line of work, I'm in talent management, so I strategize on talent and leadership. Where can I go? If, for example, I want a 9 to 6 job, I can go to banks. So a lot of companies would require my services. But what is my disadvantage? It's because I'm already in my 50s. I may not look like it, but then companies don't want to hire women, especially if we're already above 45. There is a shelf life. In a lot of companies, in a lot of countries, your best working age is 45 and below. After that, you had better come up with something or stay on the job that you have, retire at 60. And that means you don't have any other option but to stick to the job, because that's what the job market is giving you. Okay, so what are the top use cases for versatile thinking with mind maps other than project management? Okay, let me go back to the canvas, and then we can tackle these two questions. Sample of how to use MindMap AI for work, how to make decisions. Okay, let's create a mind map. Let's ask the AI to create a mind map. Create a mind map about decision making in the workplace. Okay, let's try this, Pravin. Then later you can actually just go to mindmap.ai.app and discover new things there. So it's telling you need to dichotomize the problem, whether it's important but not urgent, which requires planning. Is it neither urgent nor important, which is a time waster, and therefore you can automate it or you can do away with it. Or a problem could be urgent and important, which is critical, requires critical thinking because it's a crisis, and therefore you need to identify the crisis, identify the root cause, gather immediate information, come up with effective solutions, maybe brainstorm with your colleagues. But if it's an urgent matter but not important, these are interruptions. Often they come up, they actually appear in the form of email, an urgent email from your boss or from your colleague. Not important, but they needed it yesterday. Like, hey, I lost my copy of this particular file and I'm about to attend a meeting. Could you please send me your copy or send me a copy? Send me a digital copy. I was often caught into this when I was working at a bank. So my boss would tell me, Lyra, I am about to join the board meeting and I have not completed my presentation. Could you please come over and complete it for me? So that's an interruption. It's urgent, but not important for me because she's the one attending the meeting, not me. But because I'm the subordinate, so I have to run. Okay, I'd tell her, okay, give me your laptop, and then I would quickly complete her presentation for me because I was already using a mind map at that time. So it was very quick for me. I'll just ask her, what are the three most important things that you need to present in the board? So we start with that. And then I'd create some images and voila, she could run away with it. Okay, so that's how you can use a mind map. What else? Top use cases for versatile thinking with mind maps. Okay, so I actually showed you earlier how it can be used in government, in customer service, in banking. But let's humor this AI and create a mind map on the uses of versatile thinking in the workplace or in business. Okay, so that should cover a lot of things other than project management. Let's see what MindMap AI will generate for us. Okay, so it's giving you a lot of things. Oh, only 4. So what do you actually do if you're not satisfied with just 4, right? Because it's giving you a lot already with this 4 because of the sub-branches. So you have problem solving, innovation and creativity, decision making, teamwork, and collaboration. Okay. I want it to, this is where because I have not fully explored the ability of MindMap AI. Maybe we can ask Sobia. Sobia.
Yeah, like that.
Yes, can you please help me expand this to more branches? Like, because there are only 4, right? So how do I get it to give me some more?
Yeah, you can ask in the Copilot to expand into more
Okay.
nodes.
Please expand. Okay, so I can tell it, I need more ideas. Please expand to more with more branches. So you can actually interact with it. It's really similar to ChatGPT. Right. Okay, so where did I go? You click this one, Copilot Chat, and then gave me an expansion. So there's more about decision making, more about teamwork and collaboration. And it actually included leadership, which is my practice now. I'm doing leadership capacity, leadership profiling and development. So yes, it's there. And again, because this is my own Copilot, so it is adapting to what I have fed it, right? So that's why the answers that are being given is based on how I have been interacting with it in the last 2 weeks. So the language that it has learned from me, the ideas that it has picked up based on my interaction with this AI. Maybe if you use it, it can generate a different answer for you. So that's how it actually works. It's more or less like customized. because it's learning from you. So that's why, remember Gigo, garbage in, garbage out. It will learn the garbage that you will feed it. But if you have great ideas to feed it, it will also learn and enhance the great ideas that you've been feeding it. Yeah, I think that should be all for this webinar. And thank you very much. Thank you, MindMap AI and Subia, for this unique opportunity. Thank you, everyone, for coming to this event as well. I look forward to seeing you again in the next webinars if I get invited once again.